Hi everyone, welcome to week 9. Just wanted to do a little bit of an overview this week of what we've done previously and talk a little bit about what to expect these last 2 weeks. So in our previous weeks, we've looked at both the different ways that we might use the pharmacy system in both a community pharmacy practice as well as an institutional practice. At the end of last week's assignment, the second lab that you did, you were looking at the controlled drug report. This week, you're going to also look at 2 additional reports and how those might be used. And then next week, you're going to be kind of putting it all together, doing some comprehensive exercises. So what I wanted to point out to you is that before you start on next week's assignment, and before you start on this week's exam or quiz for sure, go back and take a look at those previous labs that you've done. So those first 12 labs were all about how you might do things in a retail environment, in a community pharmacy setting. Keep in mind that this particular system, whatever pharmacy you start working at, when you walk in, it's not going to look like this. It's very unlikely that it's going to look exactly like this. However, it's going to have a lot of the same functions that this system does. So this is just an overview. This is just a way to get you familiar with navigating through a system and some of the things that you might want to be looking for. So as you go back and review those first 12 labs, what I want you to be doing is looking for things like, well, what might I see in every single profile for a new patient? I need to know where to find the bin. I need to know, where am I going to input their information about their address or maybe their allergies and things like that. So those are the types of things I want you to look at, not necessarily the specifics as far as what do I click here, but what kind of things are included, what kind of things are important that I need to have in my system or, that I'm going to be using in the system. And again, keep in mind that this is just an overview. You're not going to be doing things exactly the same way in any particular system. Every particular facility, every particular company is going to have their own software. Everybody's going to do it their own way. But this is just, like I said, a good overview to tell you, what might it look like? What might it include? Now, this week, like I said, you're going to be doing 2 more reports in Lab 17 and Lab 18. The first report that you're going to be doing is a daily prescription log report. And so basically, this is going to be a report that summarizes everything that the pharmacy has done for that particular day. So a lot of states require a hard copy of all of the electronic records to be kept on file at the pharmacy. So that's what this is going to be doing. It's going to be an actual printout of that particular activity for that day. So as you go through and you complete this one, I would suggest, even though you don't have to turn something in this week for an assignment, that you actually print this report to a PDF and save it, because there are going to be some questions on your quiz this week that relate to both the lab and the exercise following the lab. So you're going to want to make sure that you do both of those things and then keep all of that stuff so that you can refer back to it when you get ready to take the quiz. Now, as far as the second lab goes this week, this one's a customer history report. So this one is something that you would produce for a customer or a patient at a certain period in time. A lot of times patients will come in and ask for this type of report, when they're ready to do their taxes for the year. So you get a lot of these kinds of requests at the beginning of the year, as they're getting ready to file taxes for their previous year. So they're going to be using this to, use to be able to deduct, how much they spend on their medications, et cetera, et cetera. Another use for this might be if a caregiver is going to, be given permission by the patient to get this data together. Maybe they're going to be putting a patient into a nursing home and they want to gather everything from their pharmacy and have all of that information as they take them to the facility. So all of those are just different reasons why you might have a customer history report. Again, the same as Lab 17, when you do Lab 18, make sure that when you print the report, you print it to a PDF and save it so that you can use it as you're taking your quiz. Again, you're going to also want to make sure that you complete the exercise because there are going to be some questions on that on your quiz for this week. If you have any questions over any of these topics, please make sure that you let me know, and have a great week.